But first, today's slow growth numbers, a very anaemic 0.2% of growth over the last quarter. So that's the 3 months until June, which, COVID aside, is the worst result since Keating's recession of 1990s. And it goes to show just how important it is to get the economic fundamentals right. While the government will breathe a sigh of relief, even at this barely positive number, we've now had 6 quarters of negative growth per person, meaning that's a long recession for individuals, which is why all of us feel poorer, even with the economy's tepid growth. Those growth numbers are hitting households, and with things this precarious, of course, this means that we must avoid the kind of economic self-harm that's become routine from the Albanese government. Self-harm we will get more of if today's headlines are right. The Australian reports that Environment Minister Tanya Plibersek might pull the same stunt with a new mine in South Australia that she's effectively just used to kibosh a $1 billion gold mine and 1,000 jobs in New South Wales. Namely, find some obscure Indigenous group with an impossible to verify, easily subjective secret claim about cultural business that enables her then to block the project under Section 10 of the Aboriginal Heritage Act. This is the Green Movement's latest scam to send us all into poverty. Wait until all the environmental approvals are finally secured, then use a dubious Indigenous claim to stop the big projects we need to maintain our standard of living. Honestly, there's no mine, no factory, no development that these green fanatics don't want to stop. And they are masters at using constant lawfare and all the rules to exploit to send us back to the Stone Age. Now, most of the time, I sadly report they're using taxpayer funds to do it all as well. We learned today that 2 members of the Kukartha Aboriginal Corporation have reportedly lodged a Section 10 application across the whole of Lake Torrens, which is a large salt lake at the west of the Flinders Ranges in South Australia. If this application gets up, it will stop drilling by a company called Orpheus Uranium, which otherwise has all the environmental approvals needed for its Murdy project. It says this project, if it goes ahead, has the potential to be another Olympic dam. Major copper, gold and uranium deposits are in Lake Torrens. Apparently, a recommendation has been made that Plibersek ban further work. Now, perhaps as a result of the uproar over the recent gold mine, her office has said that this recommendation is only one factor that the minister will consider. But there are reportedly 10 similar Indigenous heritage applications sitting on Plibersek's desk. Granting any of them, given the whole debacle with that gold mine, would massively add to the sovereign risk of doing business in Australia. And it would effectively signal that our days as a resource superpower are over. Unless, of course, the resource in question is needed to make batteries. These are the only projects with any hope of approval, ones that pander to the government's emissions obsession. In that case, the rules are short-lived, they're short-circuited, and massive and disruptive projects simply get waved through. Like the fast-tracked plan to install hundreds of shipping container-sized batteries in the shadow of the Yuyangs near Geelong that's rightly outraged local landowner, wool grower and media personality Katrina Roundtree on the program last night.
Now, what this property currently has is a bushfire overlay, and these are all the different fires that date back to 1943. You could write a book on all the fires that have started on this farm in this area. It also has a vegetation protection area. It's in a farm zone. The state government themselves placed a significant landscape overlay on this very region because 500,000 tourists who visit the Yuyangs will be looking straight down onto this very property. And just to top it off, there is also an Aboriginal cultural heritage sensitive area on this very farm.
If we're to flourish as a nation, environmental and heritage hurdles can't be unreasonable. And they've also got to be applied without double standards like that. Meanwhile, perhaps to distract from all she's doing to make us poor, Plebiscite has today released a plan to spend $60 million combating feral cats, including by imposing limits on domestic cats and enforcing cat owners to keep their pets indoors at night. Now, I'm a dog fan, I'm no cat fan, but honestly, a curfew on cats is now a top order priority for the federal government, given all the other issues we face as a country. The Prime Minister can't tell us, still won't tell us, if Hamas sympathisers pass the character test to get visas to Australia, but he wants your cat in bed at 9 o'clock. Honestly, you can't make this stuff up.